Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. You ever wondered what was inside one of these pipes? It's classified, let's see, 49cc to 80cc motorized bicycle stock muffler pipe exhaust. That is what that is. I actually did some modifications to it myself already. I've already wrapped this in, I wrapped that in fiberglass. It's a wrap. It's called a 50-foot roll of black fiberglass exhaust header pipe heat wrap tape. It comes with 6 ties. And I used that on my pipe on the 49cc CAG scooter. And there's the scooter, just so you can see it a little bit better. And we will look to see what is inside of it. Lights, camera action. So let's see. We'll chuck it up in the vise. We'll unscrew that bad boy. We'll get out the big pliers. We'll pop that out. What's in there? Okay, so what we have in there is this tube on the outside goes all the way through to the end. That end, then you grab you and we'll look down inside there. This is a baffle system. So that tube fits down into that big hole right there. So the exhaust gases have to come through. Let's see if I can get you all the way in there. The exhaust gases come from your pipe. They enter your silencer. Once they enter the silencer, they have to come, the exhaust gases have to come through this big pipe. They transfer from this big pipe back into these little holes, and then the tube, this tube extends down into that big hole where the gases get picked back up by the tube and brought out. So that's how that works. Now, I drilled holes in mine. And I'm going to use some extra wrap to stuff down inside there so that it does some more baffling. I've already done it, and it works. Just a few extra holes, just some more baffling. So all I did was, like I said, you just take some of this baffling, you just stuff it down inside there, adds just a little, it keeps it, you know how the two-stroke makes this ding, 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 right? It makes that ding, 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 ding sound. Ring-a-ding-ding. Well, if we put a little bit of this down in there, right? You just put a little bit of this down in there. You slide that. Of course, I put some around the end here and wired it on, right? So then, like I said, you want to get this pipe back into the hole. If I can get it in there. Let's see. It goes right down into that hole. And then once you got it started in there, you just stuff a little more in here and there. All you're trying to do is cut down on the ding, ding, ding. And it does work. You just stuff a little bit of it down in there, here and there and around. Then when you go to put this back together, you use a little bit of anti-seize. Let's get you a good shot of that anti-seize lube. Just a little bit will do you, because this stuff is like a virus. It will spread everywhere. You get it on anything and it gets onto everything. So I just put a little dab on there, put the cap back on, put that back in. Little dab will do ya. And you're back together. Now, you're probably wondering about the other end. Again, this end came off of this original pipe. This end came off of this original pipe, which I showed you in the beginning. I had to embiggen the holes here to make it fit my 49cc. The original, let me just show you that gasket. I got the gaskets, the original gaskets. Let me come over here and I'll grab them. So let me turn you around so you can see what I'm doing. Let's turn off some light. There you can see a little bit better. What this is, the original gasket is this one. That is for the 80cc motorized bike. They say that the center to center of those is 40. Right there. Let's see if you can, I don't know if you can see that or not. So center to center of the hole is 40 millimeters. And the original CAG motor exhaust, center to center, is not 40. It is, look at that, it's 37. There's 45, there's 37, there's center to center. So if you try to use the original, right? The original, it's not going to fit. You're going to be off about 3 millimeters. So you need to embiggen the holes of this. Let me get you turned it back around. You need to embiggen the holes on this type of a pipe here, and then grind away a little bit of the weld in there so that the bolt will fit flush against the flange. Otherwise, the bolt's not going to fit flush against the flange, right? So you can still use that gasket if you want to. You just have to embiggen the gasket. Actually, you have to take a little bit of this. That is a problem. I don't like that. I like using that gasket, which is the right gasket. Now you see how much more gasket material is there, how much more covers, but also how much better that gasket is. That is the original gasket. That's what you should use. Or you can make your own gasket. If you have, for an example, you get some gasket material. Let me get you over there. You get some gasket material and cut your own out. Even a rudimentary gasket cut out like this, even a rudimentary, right? You cut one yourself and you can see how the holes will be okay, the exhaust will be okay, and the fitment onto the motor is okay. So it's rudimentary, it works. And you can get gasket material all over the place. Let me see. Oh, and then this fitting here. It's basically a clamp on because I cannot get this single piece into a into the stand-up electric scooter in one piece like this. It has to be able to come apart, right? So it's a very easy thing just to take a pliers, you slide a clamp back, and so jam, comes right apart. Now, you say, well, that's going to leak a little bit. Actually, it does leak just a little bit. You just take a little muffler and tailpipe sealer. Every time you take that apart, which is not very often if you've got it set the way you want it, you put a little bit of sealer in there, you put it together, bang, bang, clamp it on, read and follow the directions of this stuff, it works. Seals it right up. No more leaky. Now, this one I have tried, and it is much, much quieter. Much, much quieter. Remember the other exhaust that we looked at? It was this one. Remember that? This freaking thing didn't perform any better. In fact, I'm not so sure it performed as good as this one, and that one's got no expansion chamber on it. And it was by far much louder. Well, you can see why, because inside there's nothing. That's not even a baffle. There's no fiberglass in there. It comes straight out of this pipe and straight through this big, it's basically it's supposed to be a resonator. It does resonate a little bit. It does help. If you took this off, it would be extremely loud. It's a straight pipe. This does help a little bit, but it is still, this thing is freaking loud. This thing is heavy, but it is quiet. It makes my little two-stroke sound like a four-stroke. It's so quiet. And it performs as good or better than this thing. I'm not sure why yet. So, ciao.